The first bullet whispered through the trees like a warning, then the forest swallowed the sound. And for the first time in years, Lieutenant Mason Hale of SEAL Team 7 felt fear crawl up his spine. They were deep in the Coston Black Forest, a place locals refused to enter after sundown. Dense, ancient, and disorienting, it was the kind of terrain that could turn even elite operators into prey. And tonight, someone had already decided they were. Someone who could shoot. The team had been deployed to extract a missing intelligence officer, a routine mission on paper. But as soon as they crossed the ridge and entered the tree line, the comms picked up static, GPS dropped, and a single round tore through Petty Officer Price's rucksack, missing his back by a whisper. Sniper, Mason hissed, ducking behind a fallen trunk. The team scattered, finding cover, guns raised but seeing nothing. No glint, no silhouette, no movement, just the heavy, oppressive silence of the dark forest. Then another shot, clean, precise, landing exactly where Chief Ramirez had been moments before. "She's hurting us," Ramirez muttered. "Like she knows every move we make." "She," Mason echoed. Ramirez swallowed. Only one shooter alive fits this pattern. Even in the darkness, Mason saw the name hit the others like a shockwave. Wraith, a rogue sniper who vanished from all databases 3 years ago. A ghost with a rifle. A myth. Until now. But they couldn't worry about her. Their mission still mattered. And yet, every step they took deeper into the forest seemed to be exactly where she wanted them. The trees thickened as night settled fully over them, the sky disappearing behind the massive canopy. With each passing minute, the sniper's shots became more deliberate, landing closer, tighter, always nudging them in one direction. "She's not trying to kill us," Price whispered. "She's guiding us." "But why?" Mason asked. The forest answered with another round that shattered a tree trunk inches from his head. "Okay, moving," he shouted to the unseen sniper, frustration boiling over. Ramirez gave a grim smirk. "She's always been like that. Patient, controlling, a genius with a trigger." "You know her?" Mason asked. The chief didn't respond at first. Not until the team crawled into a narrow gully and regrouped. "She was one of us once," he finally said. "Navy sniper. Quiet, brilliant, but command pushed her too far. Lost her sister in a botched op. When she tried to expose it, they buried her story instead. She left the military the next day. And became this," Mason whispered. Ramirez nodded. "She protects people now, but she does it alone. Doesn't trust anyone wearing a uniform." Mason clenched his jaw. And now she had them trapped. Hours passed. Every attempt to flank or escape was met with surgical shots that cut off their paths like invisible walls. The team's nerves frayed. Sweat, dirt, and fear mixed in the icy night air. Price's voice cracked. "We're not gonna make it out of here, are we?" Mason put a steadying hand on his shoulder. "We will. We adapt. We overcome. She's good, but she's still human." Another shot echoed. This one didn't miss. Ramirez fell. Not a kill shot. His arm was pinned to a tree by a perfectly placed round, blood running down the bark like a dark ribbon. "She's disabling us," Mason growled. "Not killing. She wants something." Ramirez gritted through the pain. "She's telling us to stop." "To listen. To what?" Price asked. Before anyone could answer, a faint cry echoed through the forest. Human. Desperate. A woman's voice. "Help. Somebody help. The missing intelligence officer." Mason's breath caught. "She's been guiding us to her. All this time." Wraith wasn't hunting them. She was trying to save the hostage and keep them from stumbling into the traps surrounding her. Snare lines. Mines. Deadfalls. Razor-thin tripwires Mason could barely spot even with night vision. Wraith had been clearing a safe path for them the only way she knew how, by force. They finally reached a hollow beneath a massive fallen cedar. A young officer, pale and exhausted, lay bound and shivering. Mason cut her free, his hands shaking with adrenaline. "Who took you?" he asked. She pointed weakly into the darkness. "Militia. 10 of them. They left me to die here." Price exhaled shakily. "Then who's been shooting at us?" A voice answered from above. "Me." The team froze, spinning their weapons upward. A figure stepped out onto the ridge above them, a silhouette framed against the faint moonlight. Tall, still, the very definition of control. Her rifle was lowered, her movements calm, almost gentle. "You would have tripped 6 explosives if I hadn't stopped you," she said. "Your extraction route was compromised. Command should have known." "Wraith," Mason breathed. "Don't call me that." Her voice cracked, just barely. "My name is Lien." Ramirez, still pinned to the tree, gave a strained smile. You picked a hell of a way to say hello. Her head dipped. I couldn't reveal myself, not while the militia was still monitoring the ridgeline. And now? Mason asked. She nodded toward the forest behind her. There's a safe path out. I'll cover you. You're coming with us, Mason said firmly. She shook her head. Not with that uniform. Not with command's lies still on the books. Mason stepped forward, lowering his weapon. Then let me make you a promise. I'll get the truth out. What happened to your sister, the world will know. Leon's jaw tightened. She looked at him, really looked, and for the first time her mask cracked. You'd do that, she whispered. Swear it. The forest held its breath. Finally, she nodded once. Go. I'll watch your backs. The team moved swiftly through the safe corridor she'd carved, every step protected by the unseen guardian on the ridge. Not a single militia fighter approached. Not a single trap triggered. And when they reached the extraction point, a final shot rang out, not at them, but at a distant rock. A farewell, a promise, a warning to anyone who dared follow. As the helicopter lifted them into the night sky, Mason stared down at the endless dark forest. Somewhere in that maze of trees, Lien watched them go, alone, but no longer forgotten. He placed a hand over his heart. I keep my promises, he murmured. And he would, for her sister, for every soldier failed by the shadows. In the end, the story wasn't about fear, or danger, or the traps waiting in the dark. It was about one woman's courage to fight alone, and one team's decision to finally see her. Because heroes aren't always the ones we send into the forest. Sometimes, they're the ones who never left it. And sometimes, the quietest sniper fires the shot that changes everything.